Hi there and welcome to CHITA Diaries. So before I get into what this video is about, if you're not new here, I did mention in my previous video that I would do a weave update, and I have had this for exactly 3 weeks. I installed this hair 3 weeks ago. For the new people, it is Eunice Peruvian body wave hair, 3 bundles of 20 inches and one 16-inch closure purchased from the Eunice website. And like I had mentioned, I did go to the hair salon to have it maintained, washed, conditioned, and then I sat under a hooded dryer for a while, and then the rest was blow dried and flat ironed, and I loved the curls that I was given. I went to Kozo. I had mentioned Melody last time, but Melody was booked today, so I used someone else called Purity, and Purity did a very good job. So Kozo is on Twin Palm Road in Kabulonga. So yes, this is my hair, girl. 3 weeks. This is 3 weeks now, and it is quite luscious. I was watching Chizzy do's video with her mom, and her mom said lustrous. So yes, it looks lustrous. So yeah, that's the hair. I know I was supposed to do like a whole separate video. Did I promise it? I'm not sure if I promised it, but I did mention it, but I shall not. This is my weave maintenance update, and this is what it's looking after 3 weeks. So there you go, for those that care. And now on to this video. So I am back from Cape Town. If you've been following me on Instagram, especially my stories, I didn't really post much on my timeline. I was in Cape Town for a full week, and I had lots and lots of fun. It was a great trip. It was my first time in Cape Town, and I got a couple of DMs. You know, what I had planned to do was just vlog it and then do like, you know, vlogs here and there of my time there. But I actually got, you know, a couple of requests, a couple of questions, and I figured, you know, let me just do a video and talk about how I prepared for the trip, if that's okay. So please, I'm not coming here as a travel vlogger or an expert or someone who knows Cape Town inside out. No, please don't come for me. This isn't what this is about. This is me literally trying to help out someone who is like starting from scratch. Like, I'm no expert, please. I am not a travel vlogger or blogger. I just got a couple of questions of people genuinely asking, you know, how I prepared for the trip. So it's for those people who asked, those who are just curious, okay? Okay, I'm not an expert. You can relax. For those, you know, that might be catching feelings. So yes, that's what this video is about. So I will highlight tickets, like plane tickets, accommodation, activities, logistics, like getting around, and food. So that's what this video will be about. Like, there's your intro. So in terms of flights, I use a website called FareCompare, and then my sister Priscilla, who is an actual traveler, like she legit travels the world. I was supposed to do this video with her actually. Yeah, I was supposed to do this video with her. I was checking to see if she had responded, because I'd asked her whether she was still going to knock off early and we could do this together. But yeah, she's really busy. But yes, she travels a lot, and she mentioned that she uses Expedia. I've seen so many people talk about Expedia. I mean, I've seen Expedia, but I just prefer the way FareCompare looks. Like, I like the user interface or whatnot, or just the way the website is set up. So I like FareCompare. So I will leave links to everything I will talk about in the description. So please, you guys, just, I know I put the websites on the screen sometimes, but I think for today, just go into the description box. Just, if you don't know where that is, like, just right underneath, if you're watching this on YouTube, they just click on a little arrow or a drop button, and there's this whole, you know, space under this video where you can get, you know, written descriptions of what I'm talking about and links to particular websites. So yes, I do use FareCompare. Now with FareCompare, I'm not sure about Expedia. It probably has the same things. With FareCompare, you can filter what you want. So if you want to make the most out of your trip, like I do, okay, and not just wanting to book the cheapest ticket that comes on, because it actually lists them by the cheapest ticket. Yeah, so that comes to the top. So if you're someone who just doesn't want the cheapest thing, you can actually filter your results. So you just go to the, you know, little drop menu or the place that says filter, and you can adjust it. So if, for example, maybe you only have 5 leave days or 5 working days to go on this trip, and it could even be 3 days really, and you know that SA is not that far, you can filter your trip to make sure that you make the most out of the day. So there's a part where it says landing time. So you can actually just go through the filters and check for landing times, and then you can adjust it to see what flights are available for landing before maybe saying noon. And then if there's nothing, you just keep moving the little space button to, like, you know, maybe 14 hours, 15 hours. But if you want to make the most of your trip where you can arrive as early as possible, you can adjust that, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So that you're just not getting any flight on a particular day. Like, as long as it's on that day, you know, if you want, you can filter it to see what's available before a certain time. So at least if you arrive by noon, you can do something, you know, you can do an activity in the afternoon, if that makes sense. And then same thing applies with takeoff time. So the day that you're going to leave, because by the way, with FareCompare, so right from the home page, you type in like the city you're coming from, and usually if your location is on, like, it will just show you, like in my case for Lusaka, it will show Lusaka, and then you say you're going to Cape Town and the dates that you want to be there, and then yeah, you just click OK, and then it will take you to all the options. Now back to the filter thing. So you can also check you know, what flights are available. Like, if you want to do something on your last day in the morning, like we did, we actually went to, like, to Table Mountain the day we were leaving. We booked a flight that was leaving Cape Town at 3 p.m, like 15 hours in the afternoon. There were flights in the morning, so if you just said any time, we could have picked any flight, but we made sure that the takeoff time from Cape Town leaving was later on, so we could do something in the morning. So that's something else about FareCompare. Is there anything else? Yes, even the duration of your flight. So it let me calm down with my stammer. By the way, if you're new here, I do stammer. Let me calm down. So yes, if you, what was I even trying to say? If you want to make yes, I remembered, if you don't like long layovers, so it can be any flight, it doesn't even have to be Cape Town, you can filter how long, like, the whole return flight will be. So like I said, SA is not that far. Oh, and something else, if you're coming from Lusaka, there are no direct flights to Cape Town. You have to connect through Joburg. The only flight that leaves Zambia and goes directly to Cape Town is the one from Livingston, and it's with KQ, with Kenyan Airways. So it comes from Nairobi, picks people up in Livingston, and then goes directly to Cape Town. So if you live in Livingston, you know, like, you can go directly to Cape Town. Like, there's no, like, business of passing through Joburg. But for the rest of us who live in Lusaka, yeah, you have to go through Joburg. And but still, like, a Joburg flight from Lusaka is 2 hours, and then maybe you need like another 2 to 3 hour layover in between, and then again the flight from Joburg to Cape Town is 2 hours again. That's a total of maybe 6 hours. You don't want to book a return flight that has I don't know, like 6 or 7 or 10 hours in between. Like, why would you stay in an airport for that long? Unless you want to get the cheapest flight possible, you know what I mean? But if you don't necessarily want the cheapest flight, and you want, you know, layovers that are as short as possible, you can use that filter as well that I was talking about. So there's one little, like, there's a little tab where you can adjust the duration of your flight, you know, and the whole return thing. So that's 6 hours. 6 plus 6 is 12. So you can just reduce the number to a maximum of 13 hours, and then you see what's available. And then if there are no flights that are that short, like, just keep pushing it, like maybe 14 hours or 15 hours, and then you see what the results will be, if that makes sense. And then once you see a flight that's agreeable or whatnot, I just click on it, and then it always directs me to either like the actual, like, so in this case I booked with South African Airways. It took me to the South African Airways website, and then I officially booked from there. But if you're looking for the cheapest tickets, the most convenient tickets, I use FareCompare. So that's about plane tickets. Now, moving on to accommodation. I like to book Airbnb, and Priscilla also likes Airbnb. I wish you could have been here. Yeah. But anyways, you will see her in my vlogs, like, once I begin to edit them, which I haven't even begun, like, there's so much footage. But yes, so my sister Priscilla also vouches for Airbnb. She loves Airbnb, and she did show me, you know, some hacks or some tricks that I didn't know about before. So I booked. So now, with regards to Airbnb in Cape Town, location is key. Like, don't just pick the cheapest Airbnb. Again, I will leave the link. If you've never heard of Airbnb, yes, the people who've never heard of it, like, it's fine. I will leave a link for you in the description. They even have an app, yeah. So once you go to the Airbnb website, just click in the town that you're going to stay in this case Cape Town, and the dates that you're going to be there. And something else that I forgot to mention, don't book your accommodation before you book your flight. Don't do that. Make sure you secure your flight and then book your accommodation, because it's common sense, because you don't want to start like canceling and like rebooking things because you got a flight on different dates. So first secure your flight and then book your accommodation. So yes, in terms of accommodation, once you go on Airbnb, you click like, just it will ask you what town you're interested in. You put in Cape Town. Now you know the dates that you're going to be there. You put in the dates, number of people. So for Airbnb, sometimes it can be per person, or you can book an entire apartment. But anyways, you just type it in and show the number of people that are coming on this vacation. In my case, at first there was 3 of us, but it ended up being 2. Yeah. So for the first couple of days, then the 3rd person joined us later. So yes, I just put a total of 3 because some Airbnb hosts get really picky. If, for example, you say 2 people and then 6 people show up, they find that really rude and you can get charged for that. So just mention the exact number of people who are going to be there. So I typed in 3 plus the dates, and even with Airbnb you can filter. So just go to the filters and type in your budget. So if you only have, for example, if you're going alone and the maximum you want to spend is $50 per night, just push that little tab thing, filter it, and then only the houses that are up to like $50 a night will show up in the in the search button. And there's so many other things that you can filter. If you want, you can do an entire apartment, the number of bedrooms that you want, the number of bathrooms that you want. You can type all of that in, or so you can click on those filters, if that makes sense. And then the next really important thing with regards to location, and I don't know why I had never considered this in the past, but Priscilla got me onto that. She's like, always make sure you pick a great location. So now this can only come into account once you know what activities you want to do, whether you're in Cape Town or any town. Once you know where the bulk of the stuff you want to do is, please try and find a home or an apartment near those activities. Don't just pick the cheapest house on Airbnb and then end up like 2 hours away from all the stuff that you're going to do, if that makes sense. So even on the Airbnb website, and I feel like you should do all these things on a laptop, like it's bigger and it's easier to navigate. So there's a little space there that shows maps. So there'll be a map with little arrows of all the results of those Airbnbs, and then once you click on each, and the little locations usually have the price per night. So if you just click on them, it will show you a result of which Airbnb that is. So if you know what area you're going to be in, it could be like the whole map of Cape Town, but if you know you want to stay near the V&A waterfront, which is what I did, I just expanded on that location, like zoomed in to that particular neighborhood, and then even the homes in the results kind of just like they filter themselves, and then it adjusts to the area that you've put in the map. Okay, so hope that makes sense. And the last thing which I didn't consider was making sure you book with a super host. If you're really picky and if you want to be sure that you have like a good experience, super hosts, Airbnb hosts that have, I think, all 5 stars in terms of rating, because you can rate your Airbnb after you leave. All of them have 5 stars, or at least it should be 4 stars and going up. And don't book an Airbnb with like 3 reviews, you know what I mean, and then it's all 4 stars. Try and have an Airbnb that has a lot of reviews and all of them, or most of them, are good, because that definitely counts. It comes into play. So that's it about accommodation. I stand for Airbnb, my sister does as well. And if you're a hotel person, because I think hotels are definitely cheaper than the average Airbnb, most people recommend booking.com. I will not leave a link for booking.com because I don't use it, but just know booking, like BOOKING.com, is where people go to, who travel a lot, go, to book hotels and stuff like that. But yes, Airbnb is big. makes sense. Though I was slightly catfished with the one that I got, but still it was a great location and very cute apartment. It was just a lot smaller than what was portrayed in the pictures, but it was a great Airbnb. So in terms of activities, the very first website that I would recommend is, I think it's called CapeTown.travel. Yes, and that will be in the description box for you, so please read through. And I think that one is like the government website or something. It's very well put together, and that's something I loved about Cape Town. Every single business had a website that was updated. It was just well designed. It had prices. I don't know why Zambians have this fear of putting their prices on their websites. Like, you have to call them and deal with rude customer services to find out about, just anything. And even just the descriptions are dated. I don't know, it's just messy. Not all Zambian businesses, but the majority. Like, if you're trying to go on holiday, like, it's tricky, you know what I mean? But everything there has a website, has a phone number, it has a map, it has everything, even menus. And that's what I will mention when I get to food. Absolutely loved how everything was so organized. So yes, the first website, if you're just looking for activities and you're window shopping for stuff to do in Cape Town, was that particular website. I loved that website. And then I think they even have articles of 50 things to do under 50 rands, or 20 things to do under 20 rands. What to do if you only have one food day in Cape Town, if you have 3 days in Cape Town, if you have a week. They give great tips. So if you're just window shopping, go to that website, and then for each activity they have like an external link to the individual venues website. So I love that. And then the next website that I went to was Get Your Guide, and then Get Your Guide also have an app which I downloaded. So for Get Your Guide, that's when you actually want to book tours. Like, if you want to go on a tour somewhere, you can book it. What I loved about Get Your Guide is that they can pick you up from your location. Like, they provide transport. Like, they'll pick you up from wherever you are. Okay, if you're living in a decent neighborhood, they'll pick you up and they'll drop you off at the end of the day. They'll baby you, they'll take care of you. Like, it's like a custom thing where you're in a small group of people and there's a tour guide who's literally taking care of you the entire day. It's pricey. Okay, for my tax bracket, it was expensive, but the one tour I booked on Get Your Guide was worth it. Oh my day, and I am cheap, but they went above and beyond on that trip. So yes, Get Your Guide have pricey tours, but they are worth it. Then if you're on a budget, there's now what they call the city pass. The city pass is big. Like, if you're on a budget, so I picked the longest duration. So I think the 1 day city passes. There's a 3 day city pass and a 5 day city pass. I was going to be there for 7 days, so I got the longest one, which was a 5 day city pass. And with that one, from what I recall, it's valid for 6 months. But then once you scan your barcode on like the one thing, like the first thing that you do, it activates itself, and then you have 5 days, like 5 consecutive days to use that city pass. So if you just sit, if you do one activity and then you sit for 4 days and then do something like that's your fault, because you have those 5 days after you activate the first activity to use it up. And they give you access to so many activities, you guys. Like, I was literally I went to museums, I went to galleries, I went to the aquarium, I went to Table Mountain, I went to a vineyard, I went to the botanical gardens, and I could have gone to the full day tour I'd taken. I could have, like I said, it was more expensive, but would have got it. Like, me who went on the expensive tour versus someone who used the city pass, like, we're going to the same place, we'll take the same pictures at the destination, you know what I mean? But yes, you have access, like free access to so many things. So I paid, let me focus, I paid 1,500 for a 5 day city pass. Can you imagine, like 1,500 for 5 days, and you have access to so many places? And then it also comes with a city bus, so you can take a bus. And thankfully, I was like I said, location was key. So I was living near the V&A waterfront, and that's where the bus like every day would begin, and then it takes people like all around Cape Town. So the couple of times that I used the city bus, it would take me directly to the places that I needed to be, or at least within walking distance of where I needed to be. So if you're on a budget, that red bus is big, and just the city bus. So you just go around, and then you have that barcode that they send to you, and then you can just say, oh, I have an iVenture card, or I have an iVenture, you know, barcode, and then they just scan it for you, and you know, it's free. Now, please, some people out there who are just ridiculous. If, for example, you go to Table Mountain using your city pass, it doesn't mean you can go back again. Like, it's a one entry thing, you know. It's common sense, but some people, you know, still want to predict that. So please don't think that it's unlimited, or you can go back to Table Mountain like 5 times. You can go there once, if that makes sense. So that's in terms of activities. Yeah, I think that's all. Then food. If you're someone who's like wary of moving around on your own and you're afraid for your own safety or whatnot, or you're just an introvert, or you don't like walking around, my stammer, let me relax. If you don't like walking around, there's Uber Eats. So they actually have Uber Eats, which was very, very, very convenient. Okay, at least for where we were living. So again, location is key. And by the way, we're staying in Greenpoint. It's a neighborhood called Greenpoint. So yes, we're staying in Greenpoint, and we're within access of so many restaurants. But then Uber Eats is something that you could you know, basically just use. But then you need a debit card with money, okay, obviously. So yeah, you can't pay cash. It's via your card. So you connect your card to the app, you download it, and then yeah, they have food delivered to you. And if you want to go out, my goodness, like I can't even recommend where to go. Like the food everywhere was so good. And then, okay, V&A Waterfront had so many restaurants, but if you just walk down certain streets, like within Greenpoint, there's one called Clove Street, like there's food everywhere, and it's so fresh. The ingredients are so rich, you guys. Like if you're a foodie, and everybody calls themselves foodies, but okay, me, I think I'm an actual foodie, and you can taste the difference. Like it was just such rich ingredients. Like even me who doesn't like seafood like that, I could see that this seafood looked really nice and was very fresh. Sorry, my camera wanted to die. But yes, I think I was talking about food. But yeah, there's food everywhere. It's really fresh. It's delicious. Okay, at least the places that I was going to. And then in terms of budget, cause yeah, well, it depends on what you like to eat. And I like to eat a lot, but I'm a very picky eater. And if you want a really good, decent meal, I would say a minimum of 100 rands, so 100 to 150 rands, unless you're doing Nando's, tiers, whatnot. Yes, within 50, 70 rands you can find something. But if you want, you know, to eat from a restaurant, or like, you know, just have like a nice full meal, between 100 and 150 rands. And then for juice, like it's just basic juice, not even wine or anything, like another, you know, 50 rands or so. So on average per meal it was like 200 rands. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. Make sure you budget. And then I can't even mention how, like, the kwacha is just crazy. But anyways, I will tell you how much my flight was. I realized that I didn't mention that at the time I was buying my plane ticket back in March, because I went on this trip in May. I could have even bought my ticket earlier, but yes, I like to give myself at least 2 months. Okay, 2 months before, because the closer you are towards the trip, of course the plane ticket will be far more expensive. If you can book it 3 months in advance, do that. Yes, so my plane ticket at the time, I think it came to $590 at the time. And then the Airbnb, so once I booked my ticket, I then booked the Airbnb. It was $75 at the time, but I've noticed that they fluctuate. Sometimes, depending on the season or the demand, or people asking for that Airbnb, it fluctuates. But at the time that I was booking it, it was $75. When I checked recently, like I think it had even gone down to $56 for the particular Airbnb that I was staying in. In terms of activities, like I mentioned, if you're on a budget, okay, the City Pass gives you either free entry into places or a discount. And then for most of the activities, there's a bus available for you to use to get there, or it will at least leave you close to that place. Or if there's no bus, you know, you can kind of find your way around. But for a 5-day City Pass, I had to pay 1,500 rands, okay, to have a huge, you know, variety of activities to do. That's if you're on a budget. If you're doing get your guide exclusively, I don't know who you are, but the one trip that I did, and this was like mid-range, it was 70 euros for like a full day's trip. Okay, but the others that were like over 100 euros, 150 euros. If you're doing like a half day tour, it was around 50 to like maybe, okay, like between 30 and 50 euros for a half day tour. So I'm just saying, if you're going to use Get Your Guide and you're going to book all those fancy custom tours for yourself, yeah, you're going to need about 1,000, okay, 1,000 euros if you're going to be there for a full 7 days. I'm just saying, just on tours. That's up to you. Okay, do you, boo? But if you're on a budget, 1,500 rands, okay, which is like $150 or something, yeah, you can use that city pass. And then in terms of food, I already mentioned that. In terms of logistics, Uber is bae. That's what I'm going to say. Uber is bae there. It's so cheap. And again, because of where we're staying, we're in Greenpoint. It was close to everything, like literally everything, like that, in terms of like the malls, like the grocery store and everything. It was close to like to the fun stuff. And then Uber there is like 26 rands, like that's like the bare minimum. And then because we're so close to everything, we're paying 26 rands to go to everywhere, except maybe like, you know, places that were further out. But even then, like our Uber from Greenpoint to Table Mountain, I think only cost 60 rands, okay, and it was far. Okay, and Uber in Cape Town is cheaper than Uber in Johannesburg, just saying. But yes, Uber was quite cheap, it's safe, and everyone in general, you know, tended to have our backs once they realized we're foreigners, which I'm not saying is guaranteed, because there are some incidents, but we're fortunate enough to find friendly locals who, like, once they caught on that we're foreigners, like, they'll give us tips of what to do. People were basically chill. Of course, we had some racist encounters, okay, that I'll talk about in my vlogs, and just, you know, the racism that I saw, which people really don't talk about with regards to Cape Town. It's like this thing that you just find out by yourself the hard way. But I had never really heard anybody, like, actually address the racism in Cape Town until I got there. And it's like everyone else is throwing shade towards other races within SA. And then once they realize you're a foreigner, like, they just get so free to do it. They could be white, you know, roasting Asians. They could be Asians roasting white people. They could be black roasting everybody else. You know what I mean? They just felt so free to be racist towards other people. I mean, Zambians do it too, but there it was different, because they also they kind of put people in categories of where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, and it was mean, and they were really, you know, emphasizing on stereotypes when being racist towards people, which was sad. Like, no one talks about that. Everyone just talks about how friendly and chill and, you know, lovely Cape Town is, but that racism is quite, you know, it's quite real there. But yeah, apart from that, we still met really friendly people, super chill, it was nice. But that is also, you know, a factor. Like, it's very real there, and no one talks about it, or at least I've never seen anyone highlight it the way I felt when I went there and experienced it. But yes, not to end on a bad note, but yeah, Cape Town was lit. I had the time of my life. I'm a very picky person. I had high expectations, but that city surpassed my expectations. So I highly recommend anyone who's never been to go there. It is a beautiful, beautiful city. And please be diverse with your activities. Don't be that person that goes on vacation just to day drink, okay, and wear sunglasses and take pictures for Instagram. Explore. I beg of you, like, explore, try and get to know the history of a place. Just do stuff, you know, and try and have enough time. Like, okay, yes, if you only have one day, like I had said, like that tour I took, the one that I paid like hella money for, yes, that tour was great because they literally showed you, you know, all of Cape Town, or at least the highlights of Cape Town. But if you have a full week like I did, please just take the time and do as much as you can, and just be diverse. Window shop for what you can do, and just see as much as you can, and just don't be fixated on very, very touristy things. At least, I don't know, just try and be diverse in the activities that you do, and really, you know, get to know the place. So yes, I loved Cape Town. I absolutely loved it. I hope I can go back with my, you know, with my friends. I had a great time with my sister, and then later on one of her friends came. Yeah, lots and lots of fun, and I'm so glad I got to experience it at least with one loved one. And I'm someone who says I would love to do solo travel one day. I don't think, okay, yes, solo travel is needed, you know, it's good for the soul and everything, but I'm happier to go with someone, like a loved one, and actually have that experience with them. I love that. So, you know, shout out to my sister. I'm so glad she came, you know, along with me on this trip because it really was my idea, and I was like, yeah. So, actually, it was supposed to be me and two of my sisters, but it's just me and one of my sisters came. So I basically insisted, like, can you go? And I'm so glad, you know, that she came, and we had fun during the days that she actually joined, because she was busy. But anyways, let me stop rambling. Cape Town is great. If you can go one day, definitely make the time. And this video, like I said, was for those who had been asking questions on how I prepared for it. In terms of budget, someone asked how much everything cost. I don't want to put a figure out there because, like I said, the kwacha is crazy. And even if I mention it in dollars, like I said, I hope we're just taking notes throughout what I was saying. You know, like just customize it to what you want, what your needs are, what type of food you eat. You know, whether you want to Uber everywhere, the activities that you want to do. I can't put a price on what I wanted or what my preferences were. You know what I mean? So at least you have an idea of how much things cost, and then you can just customize it to what you want. And yeah, let me stop talking now. Thank you so much for watching. I have so much footage to sift through. I don't even know if I have good footage. I was just taking videos where I could, but I would try and, you know, do a couple of daily vlogs here and there of how that experience went. And thank you for watching. Let me flex this. So this is fresh out of the salon hair, and it's not going to look like this tomorrow, so let me just flex it. Let's see my back, shall we? Hopefully it's shiny and nice. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.